It's 2 in the morning. Your laptop screen glows in the darkness. Energy drink cans scatter across your desk like casualties of war. Your notes, highlighted in 6 different colors, blur together into meaningless soup. You've been studying for 7 hours straight. And you remember nothing. Your exam is in 6 hours. Panic grips your chest. Your roommate is asleep. The library is closed. You're alone with your failure, wondering how you got here again. You promised yourself this semester would be different. You swore you'd start early. But here you are, same cycle, same terror, same crushing weight of knowing you're smart enough. You're just doing it all wrong. What if I told you the problem isn't your intelligence, your dedication, or even your time? What if the entire way you've been taught to study is broken? Welcome to How to Become a Straight A Student by Cal Newport, the book that's about to destroy everything you thought you knew about academic success and rebuild it with something that actually works. Direct answer: what this book really teaches. How to Become a Straight A Student by Cal Newport reveals that top-performing students don't succeed by studying longer or working harder. They succeed by working smarter through specific, proven systems. Newport interviewed hundreds of straight A students at elite American universities and discovered they share 3 core practices. They manage their time using structured scheduling systems instead of reacting to deadlines. They study actively through self-testing rather than passive rereading, and they prepare strategically by understanding how to learn efficiently in short, focused bursts. The revolutionary insight is this: academic excellence isn't about sacrifice or all-nighters. It's about using the right techniques at the right time, allowing you to earn top grades while maintaining your sanity, sleep, and social life. This book provides the exact step-by-step methods to transform you from stressed and overwhelmed to confident and in control. Habit 1. Kill pseudo-work before it kills you. Chapter 1. Meet Sarah from Portland, Oregon. Every afternoon, she camps out at her favorite coffee shop, laptop open, textbooks spread across the table, earbuds in, playing study music. She's there for 4, sometimes 5 hours. She looks incredibly productive. She feels productive. But Sarah's barely passing. Here's what's really happening. Sarah checks her phone every 12 minutes. She rereads the same paragraph 5 times because she's thinking about her weekend plans. She highlights passages, lots of them, in pretty colors that make her feel accomplished. She's got study guides open, Wikipedia tabs loaded, and a group chat with classmates where they complain about how much work they have. Sarah is drowning in pseudo-work. Understanding the productivity trap. Cal Newport drops a truth bomb that might sting. Most students confuse being busy with being productive. Pseudo-work is any activity that feels like studying but produces minimal learning. It's the illusion of progress, and it's absolutely destroying your potential. Here's why pseudo-work is so dangerous. It satisfies your guilt without producing results. You can tell yourself, "I studied all day." And technically you did. You were surrounded by your materials. You felt busy. But in reality, your brain was never truly engaged. You were performing study theater, acting out the role of a dedicated student while your actual learning flatlined. Newport identifies the common forms of pseudo-work: reading textbooks passively without testing yourself, highlighting endless passages without synthesis, studying in distracting environments where you can't focus, attempting to multitask between studying and entertainment, and creating elaborate study materials that make you feel organized, but don't force you to actually process information. The real students Newport interviewed, the ones pulling consistent A's, they work less than you. They study fewer hours, but when they work with complete, undivided intensity. Application: your action steps today. First, conduct a pseudo-work audit this week. Track every study session honestly. Note when you check your phone, when your mind wanders, when you're reading without comprehension. Calculate your actual focus time versus your total studying time. For most students, the number is terrifying. They discover they're only truly focused about 30% of the time. Second, embrace the closed-door policy. When you study, eliminate every possible distraction. Phone in another room, not just face down on the desk. Internet blocked except for essential research. Door closed, roommates informed you're unavailable. Create an environment where focus is your only option. This feels extreme because we've normalized constant accessibility, but excellence requires protection. Third, switch from passive study to active study immediately. Every time you finish reading a section, close the book and write down everything you remember. Don't just highlight. Explain the concept in your own words as if teaching a friend. Ask yourself questions about the material and force yourself to answer them without looking. Active recall is uncomfortable because it reveals what you don't know, but that discomfort is learning. Takeaway: looking busy is easy. Actually learning is hard. Choose hard. Your brain can't multitask learning. It can only switch between tasks badly, losing comprehension each time. Real studying feels intense, focused, and shorter than you think. If studying feels easy and comfortable, you're probably doing pseudo work. Be honest with yourself. How much of your study time is actually pseudo work? Have you ever spent a whole day studying, but couldn't summarize what you learned? Drop a comment sharing your biggest pseudo-work habit. Is it your phone, background Netflix, group chats that never actually study? Let's call out our own sabotage together, because awareness is the first step to crushing it. Habit 2. The Monday Hour System. Chapter 2. The calendar that changed everything. Jake is a pre-med student in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Sophomore year, he was drowning. Organic chemistry, biology, calculus, and a part-time job. Deadlines ambushed him weekly. He'd forget assignments until the night before, then panic complete them at substandard quality. His grades reflected his chaos. Mediocre, inconsistent, terrifying for someone with med school dreams. Then Jake discovered something revolutionary, spending 1 hour every Monday morning planning his week. Just 1 hour. That single habit transformed his GPA from 2.8 to 3.7 in 2 semesters. The concept: strategic time management. Newport introduces a system so simple it sounds stupid until you try it and realize it's genius. It's called calendar management, and straight-A students are religious about it. Here's the system. Every Monday morning, or Sunday night if you prefer, you spend 1 hour reviewing all your obligations for the upcoming week. Every assignment, every reading, every exam, every commitment. You write it all down, then you do something most students never do. You schedule exactly when you'll complete each task.
Not, I'll read Chapter 5 sometime this week. Instead, Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Student Union, read and take notes on Chapter 5. The specificity is everything. You're not just listing tasks, you're creating appointments with your work. And here's the magic. When Tuesday at 2 p.m. arrives, you don't have to decide what to work on or muster motivation. You just show up to the appointment you made with yourself. Newport explains why this works psychologically. Decision fatigue is real. Every time you have to decide, what should I work on now? You waste mental energy and invite procrastination. But when your calendar tells you exactly what to do and when, you eliminate that friction. You become automatic. You stop negotiating with yourself. The Monday Hour System also prevents deadline panic. By mapping out your week, you see conflicts before they become crises. You realize that Thursday has 3 assignments due, so you proactively move work to Wednesday night. You discover you've only scheduled 2 hours for a project that needs 6, so you adjust immediately instead of discovering this problem at midnight Wednesday. Application: your action steps today. First, get one calendar and only one calendar, not a planner plus your phone plus sticky notes plus a whiteboard. One system. Newport recommends a paper planner or Google Calendar, whatever you'll actually check religiously. The medium doesn't matter. Consistency does. Second, this week, schedule your Monday hour. Literally block it in your calendar right now. Make it sacred. During this hour, you'll list every academic obligation for the week, estimate how long each will take, and assign specific time blocks to complete them. Include buffer time for the unexpected, because life happens. Third, create a daily shutdown ritual. Every evening, spend 5 minutes reviewing tomorrow's schedule. Know exactly what you're doing and when. This creates mental closure for today and clarity for tomorrow. You'll sleep better knowing the plan is set. Takeaway: time doesn't manage itself. You manage it, or it manages you. 1 hour of planning saves 10 hours of panic. Straight-A students aren't superhuman, they're just supremely organized with their time. The Monday hour isn't optional if you want excellence. It's the foundation everything else builds on. Real talk. When was the last time you actually planned your week instead of just reacting to it? If you're constantly surprised by deadlines, you need this system. Comment Monday hour if you're committing to trying this next week. Let's build some accountability here. And if you already use a planning system, drop your best time management tip below. Help your fellow students out. Habit 3. Study in focused bursts. Chapter 3. The Library Marathon Lie. Meet David from Austin, Texas. David believed in marathon study sessions. 8 hours in the library, minimal breaks, grinding through material with sheer willpower. He wore his exhaustion like a badge of honor. "Dude, I studied for 12 hours yesterday," he'd tell friends, expecting admiration. His grades were average. Then he met his physics TA, who casually mentioned she never studied more than 2 hours at a time. David laughed. "How do you even cover everything?" She smiled. "I actually learn it the first time." David thought she was lying or gifted. She wasn't. She was using focused bursts. Intensity over duration. Here's a truth that will change your life. Your brain can only maintain true focus for about 50 minutes. After that, your comprehension drops, your retention falls, and you're essentially pretending to study while your mind drifts. Newport Street-A students discovered what neuroscience confirms. Short, intensely focused study sessions destroy long, distracted marathons. It's not about how many hours your butt is in the chair. It's about how many minutes your brain is actually engaged. The science is clear. Focused work creates more neural connections, deeper encoding, and better long-term memory. But focus is exhausting. Your brain burns glucose rapidly during deep concentration. That's why after 50 minutes of real focus, you feel legitimately tired. And that's exactly when you should stop, recharge, and return stronger. Newport introduces the concept of study blocks. 50 minutes of complete undistracted focus, followed by 10-minute breaks. During the 50 minutes, you're in deep work mode. Phone off, no internet, no interruptions, total engagement. During the 10-minute break, you completely disconnect. Walk outside, stretch, get a snack. But don't just scroll social media. Your break should rest your brain, not stimulate it differently. 3 focused 50-minute blocks, 2.5 hours total, produces more learning than 8 hours of distracted, half-engaged studying. This isn't theory. This is replicable fact proven by every successful student Newport interviewed. Application: your action steps today. First, try one perfect study block this week. 50 minutes, timer set, phone in another room, one subject, one task, no multitasking. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. Notice how different this feels from your usual study sessions. Notice how tired you are after just 50 minutes of real focus. That tiredness is proof you actually worked. Second, schedule your study block strategically. Newport students identified their peak cognitive hours. For most people, it's morning or early afternoon, and protected those times for their hardest subjects. Don't waste your sharpest hours on easy tasks. Schedule difficult material when your brain is fresh. Third, embrace breaks as part of the process, not a weakness. Your break isn't procrastination, it's biological necessity. Your brain consolidates learning during rest. Students who take strategic breaks remember more than those who power through. Stop feeling guilty about breaks and start using them intentionally. Takeaway: study smarter, not longer. Your brain can't maintain focus for hours, so stop pretending it can. 3 hours of focused work beats 8 hours of distracted grinding every single time. Exhaustion isn't a measure of productivity, results are. If you're not tired after a study session, you probably weren't truly focused. Now, here's the challenge. Try one 50-minute focused study block this week. Just one. Time it. Eliminate all distractions. Then come back and tell us how it felt different. Drop a comment sharing whether you actually felt more exhausted from less time. I'm betting you'll be shocked at how hard real focus actually is and how much more you retain. Habit 4. Quiz yourself. Don't reread. Chapter 4.
The Highlighter Trap. Meet Emily from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Emily's textbooks looked like rainbow explosions, yellow for important concepts, pink for definitions, green for examples, blue for formulas. Her notes were immaculate, color-coded, practically works of art. She reread her textbooks twice before every exam. She consistently scored C's. Meanwhile, her roommate Jessica used beat-up notebooks filled with scribbled questions and messy answers. Her textbooks were barely marked. She spent half as much time studying. Jessica aced everything. The difference? Emily was rereading. Jessica was self-quizzing. The concept? Active recall versus passive review. This is perhaps Newport's most important insight. Rereading is the most popular study method and the least effective. Let me say that again because it contradicts everything you've probably been taught. Reading your notes over and over does almost nothing for long-term retention. Why? Because recognition is not the same as recall. When you reread material, it feels familiar. Your brain says, "Oh yeah, I know this." That feeling of recognition creates a false sense of confidence. You think you've learned it, but on exam day, when you need to actually retrieve that information without any prompts, it's gone. Active recall, forcing yourself to retrieve information from memory without looking, is brutally hard and spectacularly effective. It's the difference between recognizing someone's face when you see them versus remembering their name when they're not there. One is passive, the other requires real mental work. Newport's straight-A students use a simple method. After studying material, they close the book and quiz themselves. They write down everything they remember. They create practice questions and answer them. They teach the concept out loud to an empty room. They force retrieval again and again until it becomes automatic. The science backs this completely. Studies show students who self-test retain up to 3 times more information than students who reread. But self-testing feels harder, so most students avoid it. They choose the comfortable illusion of rereading over the uncomfortable reality of testing. Application: your action steps today. First, ban yourself from rereading. Seriously. After you read a textbook chapter or attend a lecture, close everything and write down the main points from memory. Don't peek. Let yourself struggle. The struggle is literally your brain forming stronger neural pathways. Second, create your own practice tests. After each study session, write 5 to 10 questions about the material you just covered. Come back tomorrow and answer them without looking at your notes. Get them wrong? Perfect. That tells you exactly what to study. This method is diagnostic. It reveals your actual knowledge versus your perceived knowledge. Third, use the explain it to a child technique. Pick a concept you're studying and explain it out loud as if teaching a 10-year-old. Use simple words, no jargon. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it yet. This technique forces you to process information deeply rather than memorize superficially. Takeaway: if it doesn't feel hard, you're not learning. Real retention comes from retrieval, not recognition. Rereading is comfortable and useless. Self-testing is uncomfortable and powerful. The pain of quizzing yourself is your brain literally building stronger memories. Embrace it. Here's an uncomfortable question. How much of your study time is just rereading your notes, hoping information will magically stick? Be honest. If you've ever felt confident before an exam because you read everything 3 times, then bombed it anyway, you've experienced the rereading trap. Comment below. Are you brave enough to try self-quizzing this week instead? What subject will you test it on first? Let's hold each other accountable to actually learning instead of just feeling like we're learning. Habit 5. Strategic procrastination. Chapter 5. The paper that wrote itself. Meet Marcus from Chicago. He had a 15-page research paper due in 3 weeks. Old Marcus would have panicked, tried to finish it in 1 weekend, burned out, and submitted mediocre work at the last minute. New Marcus did something counterintuitive. He procrastinated strategically. Week 1, he spent just 2 hours researching and creating an outline. Then he stopped completely. Week 2, he wrote 2 pages one day, 3 pages another, then took 2 days off. Week 3, he polished and edited. The paper wrote itself in fragments, and it was the best work he'd ever submitted. His professor asked if he'd hired a tutor. He laughed. "No, I just stopped trying to do it all at once." The power of starting early and working in pieces. Newport introduces a radical idea. Procrastination isn't always the enemy. The problem isn't delay, it's chaotic, panic-driven delay. Strategic procrastination means starting assignments early, working in small chunks, and letting your subconscious process between sessions. Here's what happens when you start a project weeks before it's due. You prime your brain. Even when you're not actively working on it, your subconscious is making connections, generating ideas, solving problems. You'll be taking a shower 2 weeks before the deadline and suddenly realize the perfect argument for your paper. That's your brain working in the background, but only if you started early enough to give it material to process. The straight-A students Newport studied never pulled all-nighters, not because they were superhuman, but because they broke large projects into small, manageable tasks spread over time. Instead of write 15-page paper, they scheduled Monday, research for 1 hour, Wednesday, create an outline, Friday, write the introduction. Each small task felt achievable. None required marathon sessions. The project built itself gradually, and the quality improved because their brains had time to refine ideas between sessions. Contrast this with panic procrastination. You wait until 48 hours before the deadline, then try to research, outline, write, and edit in one desperate marathon. Your brain has no processing time. Your work is rushed, shallow, anxious, and you hate every minute of it. Application: your action steps today. First, identify your biggest upcoming project, a paper, presentation, or major assignment. Right now, schedule the first tiny step. Not the whole project, just the first step. If it's a research paper, schedule 1 hour this week to find 5 sources. That's it. 1 hour, 5 sources. Achievable and non-threatening. Second, use the little and often rule for all major work. Never schedule more than 2 hours for a single project in one day. Instead, schedule 30-minute or 1-hour sessions spread across multiple days. This feels slower but produces dramatically better results because your brain processes information between sessions. Third, embrace productive procrastination. If you're avoiding a hard task, don't waste time on Netflix. Instead, work on a different academic task. Can't face your biology reading? Fine, do your math homework. Still productive, still academic, but giving your brain a break from the task it's resisting. You'll often find that after an hour of productive procrastination, you're ready to tackle the original task.
All-nighters are a choice, not a requirement, and they're the choice of students who want lower grades. Your subconscious is a powerful ally, but only if you give it time to work. Starting early isn't about being a perfectionist, it's about being strategic. The best work happens in small, consistent chunks, not desperate marathons. Confession time. When's the last time you pulled an all-nighter? How did that work out for you? Honestly, did it produce your best work or just your most panicked work? Here's the challenge. Take one project that's due in the next month and schedule the first small step this week. Not the whole thing, just the beginning. Comment below what project you're committing to start early. Let's break the all-nighter cycle together. And if you've successfully used strategic procrastination before, share your story. Inspire someone else to try it. Habit 6. Master the art of exam preparation. Chapter 6. The week before. Meet Lisa from Seattle, Washington. Midterms are in 7 days. Her friends are already freaking out, planning all-nighters, buying bulk energy drinks. Lisa is calm. Not because the exams are easy, not because she's naturally gifted, but because she has a system. 1 week before any exam, Lisa follows a precise preparation ritual that has never failed her. She doesn't cram, she doesn't panic, she methodically executes a plan that transforms chaos into confidence. When exam day arrives, she's rested, prepared, and actually excited to demonstrate what she knows. The concept, the 1-week exam strategy. Newport's straight-A students revealed a shocking truth. They typically start exam preparation exactly 1 week before the test. Not 2 days before in a panic, not 3 weeks before in wasted premature studying. 1 week. And they follow a specific process. Here's the system. 7 days before the exam, you gather all materials. Notes, textbooks, assignments, practice problems. You create a complete inventory of everything you need to know. This shouldn't take more than an hour. 6 days before, you create a mega study guide. This is a comprehensive document that synthesizes all the material in your own words. You're not copying notes. You're condensing, connecting, and reorganizing information into a logical flow that makes sense to you. 5 days before, you identify problem areas. As you create your study guide, you'll notice gaps, concepts you don't fully understand, types of problems you can't solve. Mark these clearly.
4 days before, you attack problem areas exclusively. Don't waste time reviewing what you already know. Focus entirely on your weaknesses. Seek help from professors, TAs, or study groups specifically for these topics. 3 days before, you do a complete practice exam under real conditions, timed, no notes, no phone. Simulate the actual test environment. This reveals your true preparedness, not your perceived preparedness. 2 days before, you review your practice exam results and target any remaining weaknesses. At this point, you should know exactly what you know and what you don't know. 1 day before the exam, you do light review only. No new material, just skim your mega study guide, review difficult concepts one more time, and go to bed early. This is not the day for intensive studying. Your brain needs rest more than more information. Exam day, you show up rested, prepared, and confident because you followed the system. Application: your action steps today. First, create an exam calendar right now. List every exam you have this semester and work backward to mark the 1-week preparation start date for each. These dates are now sacred, non-negotiable. This is when you begin the 1-week system. Second, practice with past exams. Most professors reuse question types. Most textbooks have practice problems. Many universities keep old exams on file. Treat these like gold. Taking a practice exam under timed conditions is the single best predictor of your actual exam performance. It reveals not just what you know, but how you perform under pressure. Third, create a pre-exam ritual that calms your nerves. Maybe it's a specific breakfast. Maybe it's a walk before the test. Maybe it's reviewing your confidence statements, like, "I've prepared systematically. I know this material. I'm ready." Rituals create psychological stability when anxiety spikes. Takeaway: cramming is what desperate students do. Prepared students follow systems. 1 week is enough time to prepare for any exam if you use that week strategically. The night before an exam should be peaceful, not panicked. Confidence comes from preparation, and preparation comes from systems, not luck. Real question: do you know your exam schedule for this term? Like, really know it, with 1-week preparation dates marked? If not, pause this video right now and pull up your syllabus. Mark those dates. That simple action might be the difference between your current grades and your dream grades. And hey, if you've ever used a specific exam prep strategy that worked magic for you, share it below. Maybe your method helps someone else ace their next test. We're all in this together, climbing that ladder. FAQs, your biggest study questions answered. FAQ section. FAQ 1. How do I stay consistent when motivation fades? This is the question Newport hears most, and here's the truth. Motivation is overrated. Straight-A students don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions fluctuate. Some days you feel inspired, some days you feel exhausted. If you only study when motivated, your grades will reflect that inconsistency. Instead, build systems that function regardless of how you feel. The Monday hour we discussed earlier, that's a system. The 50-minute focus blocks? System. The 1-week exam prep? System. Systems remove the need for motivation because they create automatic action. When your calendar says, Tuesday 3 p.m. study biology, you don't ask yourself if you feel like it. You just do it. The same way you brush your teeth regardless of whether you feel motivated. Start small with one system, maybe just the Monday hour, and let it prove itself. Once you see results, the system sustains itself. Consistency comes from structure, not inspiration. FAQ 2. What if I'm already behind in my classes? Being behind feels overwhelming, but here's the reality. Most students are behind. You're not uniquely failing. The question is, what do you do about it now? First, stop the bleeding. Implement the Monday hour immediately to prevent getting further behind. Second, prioritize ruthlessly. You can't catch up on everything simultaneously. Identify which classes are most critical. Major requirements, classes you're closest to failing, courses that build on themselves. Focus your catch-up energy there first. Third, use office hours aggressively. Professors and TAs can help you identify the most important material to review and often provide shortcuts to understanding. Explain honestly that you're behind and need guidance on what to prioritize. Most educators want to help students who show genuine effort. Fourth, accept that catching up is a marathon, not a sprint. Schedule one extra study block per day focused exclusively on catching up. Over 2 weeks, that's 14 extra sessions. That's enough to make serious progress.
Without burning out, you won't catch up overnight, but with consistent effort using the systems in this video, you absolutely can catch up. FAQ 3. How do I balance studying with work, family, and other responsibilities? This is reality for millions of American students. You're juggling school with jobs, family obligations, maybe kids of your own. The straight-A system still works, but it requires even more precise time management. First, acknowledge that your study time is limited and therefore precious. You literally cannot afford pseudo-work. Every study minute must count. That means fanatical focus during your available study windows. Second, communicate your schedule clearly to everyone in your life. Tell your family, your boss, your friends, I have 3 hours Tuesday evening to study. During that time, I'm unavailable unless it's an emergency. Most people respect clear boundaries. Third, use dead time strategically. Commuting? Listen to recorded lectures or review flashcards. Lunch break? 25-minute quiz and recall session. Waiting for an appointment? Review your study guide. These micro sessions add up significantly over a week. Fourth, let go of perfection. You might not achieve the absolute highest grade in every class. That's okay. The goal is your best work given your circumstances, not perfection. Use the systems to make your limited time maximally effective and give yourself grace for being human. FAQ 5. What about group studying? Does it help or hurt? Group studying is like fire, incredibly useful if controlled, destructive if not. Here's when group studying works. After you've already studied the material individually. Groups are fantastic for testing each other, explaining concepts to one another, and identifying gaps in your understanding. Explaining a concept to someone else is one of the most powerful learning tools available. Here's when group studying fails. When it replaces individual studying. If you show up to a study group without having prepared first, you'll spend the entire time learning at the pace of the slowest person and probably getting distracted by social conversation. Newport straight-A students used groups strategically, typically the night before an exam after they'd already prepared individually as a final test of their knowledge. They'd quiz each other, work through practice problems together, and clarify any remaining confusion. But the deep learning, the focused reading, the self-quizzing, the creation of study guides, that happened alone. Use groups as a supplement to individual study, never as a replacement. Conclusion: your straight-A future starts now. Final words. Let's come back to where we started. It's 2 in the morning. You're exhausted. You're panicked. You're surrounded by highlighted pages that mean nothing. And you're wondering if you're just not smart enough for this. But now you know the truth. You are smart enough. You always were. The problem was never your intelligence. It was never your potential. It was your method. You've been running a race with your shoes tied together, wondering why everyone else is pulling ahead. Cal Newport's How to Become a Straight-A Student doesn't just offer tips, it offers a complete system replacement. It takes the broken, outdated study methods we've all been taught and replaces them with what actually works. Let's remember what we've learned today. First,
Kill pseudo work before it kills you. Stop confusing busy with productive. Those 8-hour library sessions where you accomplish nothing? Done. From now on, you measure study time by focus, not duration. 50 minutes of real concentration beats 5 hours of distracted pretending. Your brain knows the difference, and so will your grades. Second, implement the Monday hour system. 1 hour of planning every week prevents 20 hours of panic. You're not just reacting to deadlines anymore, you're managing them. You're seeing conflicts before they become crises. You're creating a life where you control your schedule instead of your schedule controlling you. Third, study in focused bursts, not marathons. Your brain is a muscle that fatigues. Respect that. 3 50-minute blocks of intense focus will teach you more than an entire day of half-engaged grinding. And those 10-minute breaks, they're not weakness, they're biology. Your brain consolidates learning during rest. Use it. Fourth, quiz yourself. Stop rereading. This is the most uncomfortable habit and the most powerful. Rereading feels safe because recognition feels like knowledge. But on exam day, you need recall, not recognition. Force yourself to retrieve information from memory. Create your own practice tests. Explain concepts out loud. Make your brain work to remember, and it will remember. Fifth, procrastinate strategically. Start early, work in pieces, and let your subconscious process between sessions. All-nighters are for students who want mediocre grades and maximum stress. You're better than that. Break big projects into small tasks spread over time and watch your work quality skyrocket while your anxiety plummets. Sixth, master the 1-week exam system. 7 days is enough time to prepare for any exam if you use those 7 days strategically. Follow the system. Gather materials, create study guides, identify weaknesses, attack them, and practice under real conditions, and rest before exam day. Confidence comes from preparation, not luck. These aren't just study tips. This is a complete transformation of how you approach learning. And here's what happens when you actually implement these systems. You get your evenings back. You stop pulling all-nighters. You stop feeling guilty every time you take a break because you know your study time is productive, not just performative. You walk into exams feeling prepared instead of terrified. You start earning grades that reflect your actual intelligence, not just your ability to survive chaos. Your relationships improve because you're not constantly stressed and unavailable. Your health improves because you're sleeping and eating like a human instead of surviving on energy drinks and panic. Your confidence improves because you're proving to yourself repeatedly that you can do hard things when you have the right systems. But here's the critical part. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You can watch this video, nod along, feel inspired for 20 minutes, and then return to the exact same study habits that have been failing you. That's what most people do. They consume information without implementing it. Or you can be different. You can choose one system, just one, and implement it this week. Maybe it's the Monday hour. Maybe it's one perfect 50-minute focus block. Maybe it's creating practice questions instead of rereading. Just one thing. And when that one thing works, and it will work, you add the next system, then the next. Within a month, you're operating at a completely different level. Within a semester, people are asking you how you make it look so easy. Because it is easier. Not because you're working less hard, but because you're working smart. The straight-A students Newport interviewed aren't superhumans. They're not naturally gifted geniuses who don't have to try. They're regular people who figured out systems that work and committed to following them. You can be one of them. Your past grades don't define your future grades. Your current stress doesn't have to be your permanent state. Your struggle with school isn't a personality trait. It's a skills gap, and skills can be learned.
Right now, this moment, you're standing at a fork in the road.
One path leads back to the same patterns: last-minute cramming, all-nighters fueled by panic, grades that don't reflect your potential, constant stress that makes you question whether you're cut out for this. The other path leads to something better: strategic systems, consistent effort, grades that make you proud, and a life where you're in control. The choice is yours, but you have to make it. Not tomorrow, not next week when things calm down, not next semester when you promise yourself you'll finally get organized. Open your calendar right now. Yes, right now, and schedule your first Monday hour for this coming Monday. Block out 1 hour. Make it sacred. That's your first step. Then, identify one class you're struggling with and schedule one 50-minute focus block this week. One block, 50 minutes, phone off, door closed, complete focus. See what happens. That's it. 2 actions, 2 commitments, but they're the beginning of everything changing. Because here's what I know about you. Whoever you are watching this, you wouldn't have made it this far in this video if you didn't want something better. You wouldn't have invested 37 minutes of your life listening to study strategies if you were content with where you are. You want more. You deserve more. And now you know exactly how to get it. How to Become a Straight A Student by Cal Newport isn't magic. It's a blueprint. And blueprints only work if you build something with them. So, build. Start today. Start small, but start. Your straight A future isn't some distant dream reserved for other people. It's a systematic process available to anyone willing to follow it. And you're willing, I can tell, because you're still here. So let me leave you with this final thought. A year from now, you'll be somewhere. The question is, where? Will you be in the same place, same stress, same cycle, wishing you had started earlier? Or will you be looking back at this moment as the day everything changed, the day you stopped hoping for better grades and started building them, the day you replaced broken methods with proven systems, the day you became the student you always knew you could be? The ladder is right in front of you. Every rung is a system from this book. Every step takes you higher toward better grades, less stress, more confidence, and a life where learning feels powerful instead of painful. All you have to do is start climbing. So, climb. We're all rooting for you. If this video gave you even one insight that might change your approach to studying, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share this with other students who need to hear it. Subscribe to Ladder Up English if you want more book summaries that actually help you grow, not just information, but transformation. Practical wisdom from books that change lives. And turn on notifications because we're breaking down more game-changing books every week. Books on productivity, success, mental health, relationships, all the stuff that actually matters in real life. Drop a comment below. Which system are you trying first? The Monday Hour? Focus blocks? Quiz and recall? Tell me your commitment. Make it public. That accountability might be exactly what you need to actually follow through. And if you know someone, a friend, classmate, sibling, anyone who's struggling with school right now, share this video with them. Sometimes we all need someone to show us there's a better way. Your journey to straight A's starts now. Not with more motivation, not with more time, but with better systems. Now go build something amazing. This is Ladder Up English. Keep climbing. We'll see you in the next video.